Let me know when you're ready.
I am. I'm ready.
Okay. Dude, this is episode 360. So what if we did like a full 360 and just changed the layout of the whole episode?
That doesn't make any sense, though.
No. Like flip the whole thing on its head. Start from the end.
That's not what a 360 is. You do a 360, then you're right back where you left off. It's a circle. So we should have done that on episode like 180.
Wait, so you're telling me we should just do the sodas we always do because it's a full 360? So you're just like back where you started?
I mean, I guess.
See, now you get it. Full 360.
Dice of destiny.
Wait, what? Welcome to the revolution.
Doesn't make any sense.
No scope.
This is your worst intro yet. You just logged into the 360-bit gamer show. Welcome to the 3-bit gamer show. I'm JD.
This is Peterson.
And this episode 360, every time I actually think about the number of episodes we've done, dude, 5 more episodes. We've done one for each day of the year.
Like, okay, so that's great idea.
Challenge.
We now do a daily podcast. 365 podcasts, 365 days.
Yeah, start from there. We'll just work backwards.
And we work, yeah. So we go back, and that's when we end in 1 year. We have
this podcast would be so painful if we did it daily. Can you imagine?
We do one news story a day?
Yeah.
Okay, and then each episode is 8 minutes long.
Terrible. It's just a terrible podcast. You all hate it.
I have a swivel chair, so since it's 360, I'm just gonna be spinning in my chair the whole time.
Do you have like a room to do that? I think if I did that, I'd hit my knees 5 separate times.
I do have space, but I also have a cord, so I can only probably do it once.
I hope that cord gets wrapped around your neck.
Thanks.
Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news. All right. Our news this week is brought to us by the fine folks at Crave Cookies.
Crave
You
Cookies. Just say that because you're one of them.
Just a little self-gloss. I mean, everyone that works at Crave Cookies is just such a wonderful individual. And they're just such great people, salt of the earth.
I don't know about that.
So Crave Cookies is this cookie shop. If you go to cravecookies.com, you can check out the cookies we're slinging this week or this month. This is something I picked up. I guess I should have known this. I mean, you can see it here on the cookie sheet, but they've started doing a monthly cookie. I think they started just doing it last month, and that was the Death by Red Velvet. So they had that every week.
Oh,
yeah.
Should have caught on to that.
We should have caught on to that.
Wait, I need to go this week. Oh, shoot. When does
this
it
week is off the charts.
Yes, I'm going this week
because we've got the Bueno and that
the coconut crave. I want.
Yeah.
I want, and the mint chip. I love chocolate and mint.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That one's dope too.
Going this week.
That's this week. You can see it if you go to cravecookies.com. But starting next Friday, because we get new cookies every Friday, the Flintstone, that's our monthly. So that thing is just stuffed full of Fruity Pebbles, coated in Fruity Pebbles, and then we goop a bunch of like cream cheese frosting on the top of it. It's dope.
Old cereal milk.
Yeah, dude, you get it. And then this one, oatmeal scotchy. I find myself in a weird place. I don't even know what this fucking is. Honestly, I don't know.
I love the oatmeal cookie. So,
and if that's a Scotch rookie with oatmeal,
that sounds great.
Sign me right up.
That's
Reese's PB Explosion.
That's good. Always
Nutella
good.
Cinnamon Roll. Nutella Cinnarol.
Kelsey loves that one.
Oh, so good. And then the banana cream pie. People like doorbusters on old Black Fridays where they would trample people to death. That banana cream pie, I don't know what
I know a lot of people that's their favorite one.
Two separate people,
so I'm out, but
have come into the store, asked about it, and then turned around and left when I was like, "We don't have it this week." Fucking gone. That's all I care about. They weren't. Your cookies are shit if it's not that one. I was like, wow. I mean, I'm kind of offended, but like I respect that. Most people pretend after they're like, oh, that's not the cookie. Oh, you don't have the cookie I
Should
want.
look? Oh, hold on. I got a phone call. I gotta go. Hold on 1 sec.
And then they'll be like, well, I'd better get something because I already came in. And they and then they end up getting 4. I'm like, come on, guys. Don't
Not the banana cookie people.
But
They're
no, that
like,
banana
you don't have
cookie-
it. They flip you off on
It
their
is-
way out.
Yeah, it's like a religion for some people, right? Yeah, they get pissed when we don't have it. So that one's back. If you're one of those people, the banana cream, it's back. Don't get pissed at me. It's happening next week. That's out this Friday.
It's back because JD made them put it on the next menu. He's
Because
like,
someone
"People
was
keep getting
holding
so
me
mad
at
at me.
gunpoint. It wasn't my decision.
Make a banana cookie." He's like, I don't even have the ingredients. I don't even know how to make it. I haven't even worked here very long.
I don't know. There's not a card for it in the recipe book. I'm sorry. All right. So go to cravecookies.com or go down to one of the stores. You just check it out. There's probably one around you and get your cookie on. An Illinois police department uses Call of Duty in the worst way possible.
Okay. Kudos to Peoria, Illinois, for just being so tone deaf. These guys, the Peoria Police Department.
Peoria, high. I imagine a very high crime rate.
I knew this. Can I just say a quick story? This drove me crazy. There was one kid when I was a missionary. There was one kid I hated. So the other missionary, I hated him so much. I still don't like thinking about him. He was from Peoria, and he would always tell people. So he's from Peoria. It's like 70-30, like mostly white people. And he goes, yeah, I'm from Chicago, pretty rough town. And I was like, you're from Peoria. You're from a suburb of Peoria. And I would get so annoyed. He would say that every time, pretty rough town. Anyway, so Peoria, Illinois, the police department posts a Twitter message.
It was a Facebook post, wasn't it? It was like an image.
Yeah, it's like an image. Oh yeah, it's like Facebook.
Yeah,
Facebook. Oh gosh.
And it's this big poster. It's using the Call of Duty font, and it says, "Stop playing games and answer the Call of Duty." And it features 3 like super out of shape cops decked out in like double XL tactical gear,
all tactical gear and weapons that they
pointing
shouldn't be
guns
using.
directly at the camera. Because this is what Peoria, a town of 113,000, this is what their cops do, dude. They kick down doors. They're gunning down cartel members. I mean, this is the real Call of Duty. Stop playing games. Sign up. Be a Peoria cop. You will
be a
ice
police officer?
people.
It's just like Call of Duty.
You will shoot criminals, dude. That is like the
With
goal
this
of
gun.
any cop.
This is an automatic weapon. We get
Save
to
the
use
courts
these.
some time and just and reduce the prison population all in one fell swoop. Shoot people. Come be a Peoria cop and just ice bitches. Dude. It did not go over well.
Immediately, people were like, "What is this?" And they actually apologized for it.
Yeah,
but, like,
this
how did this?
this quote from the police chief Eric Echevarria is pretty funny. He says, "It was never my intention to offend any of our community members with a recruitment flyer that was posted on our Facebook page. It was simply a recruitment image I thought would appeal and connect to a younger generation."
The younger generation is not on Facebook. Who are you trying to get?
He says, "This is where this kills me." The end of this quote fucking kills me. It's like a joke. It's like an Onion article. He goes, "Our goal is to recruit the best and most qualified for the police department in the most caring and respectful way."
It's very caring.
Is he trolling us? Like, is he like he's in on the joke, right?
Like
But he says,
I can't see the third officer's face, but all 3 of them look like they want to shoot me.
dude, the best and most qualified, and that's caring and respectful. That was the caring and respectful way they tried to recruit, I guess, kids who play Call of Duty to be cops. What is that? They're like sitting in their day one and they're like, "Where's my gun? When do I get my gun? When do we get the guns?"
Dude,
I heard we get guns.
I saw that ad. I actually didn't want to join the military. It seemed like a big commitment, but I heard training for the police is like only a couple months. Like, and then I get
They just
one
give
of
you
these
guns.
guns. And the guy's like, yeah, I didn't realize this till JD pointed out, but yes, the guys on this all have a double chin. This is
They're really big dudes.
meal.
These are
Team
their
6.
tactical dudes. They couldn't even find like there's not like one buff guy that spends his time at the gym in the Peoria. No, every Peoria city cop is just a fucking beefer.
Yeah, dude, they have to use these guns. They can't run down a criminal. Are you kidding me?
You can't run from a bullet.
Just shoot him. Just shoot him. Like he's walking away at a slow pace. Like I can't do it.
Why else? I got to carry all this tactical gear on my ass. Ah!
It's like that episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine when he can't chase the criminal down because he's got like 95 pounds of tactical gear on him.
Yeah, dude.
Terry, I need you to carry this.
Dude, this is the best and most qualified officers. That's what this is going for. That is the net you throw to catch those individuals. So if you guys want to feel safe, move to Peoria. That's what we're telling you.
Play.
Developer Toys for Bob has ditched Activision and will live on by going indie. I don't know why this is the trend this week. Like this week, the last like 7 days. Well, you'll see. Spoiler alert. This just keeps happening. I don't know how this works.
I don't either. I don't get it.
So Activision, the Toys for Bob is old, like 89. I think they were founded. These guys have been around for fucking ever, and they did it like Spyro the Dragon. These old games on the original PlayStation, and starting in the early 2000s, Activision began publishing their games before eventually just acquiring them outright in 2005. And since then, these guys have been basically just doing nothing but Skylanders. Skylanders was that game that if you bought toys, it made your video game better.
Dude, I think I have some Skylanders here in my office somewhere.
Yeah, like little action figures. You like put on a little pad and then they show up in the game. It was pretty novel, but also dumb. But that's all they really did. And Activision's like, we're going to stick you on this. And then once Skylanders kind of like petered out, they just put them on doing grunt work for Call of Duty. That's all they've been doing.
These guys are doing Spyro and stuff, and they're like, no, we're going to put you on Call of Duty.
No, you're going to do Call of Duty. Everyone in Activision, every single studio does Call of Duty support.
Like, this is not really our thing. Like, we've never even used good graphics in any of our games, and they're like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and so I think the original founders fought tooth and nail because they saw the writing on the wall to get out Crash Bandicoot. These are also the guys that did Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. These are classic PlayStation games.
Yeah.
They got Crash Bandicoot 4 out the door in 2020, and then these two guys bounced, went and found a new studio. They're doing some weird ass game. They're doing their own thing. And so what we've got left is Toys for Bob, which has been gutted of its original founders by the grinding machine that is Activision. But all of the sudden, after these layoffs that affected the studio last year, I think like 90 people from that studio got cut.
Yeah.
Activision is just spinning them off. When I say spinning them off, I mean that is the actual business term for this. Not like a TV spinoff, but it's you just spin off a business and you're just like, here you go. And then that business that you spun off is like, thanks, bye. And then that's it. And they're two different businesses. And I have no fucking earthly idea.
I don't know how it works. None of the articles I saw explained it.
Did not learn enough in school to understand what the fuck this means. But they own, if I'm not misunderstanding, they own all of their pre-Activision IP. Hell, they may even own Skylanders, like Activision wants anything to fucking do with that. But they've got Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, and like 90 guys and a wing and a prayer, and they're going for it. Toys for Bob.
They don't even have a location. If you picked that up in the article, that when they laid off those people, they also closed down the location they were working at.
Yeah.
So like we don't know where we're gonna be.
So they're just some guys.
I don't know. But yes, the bigger story is, how does this work?
What does that mean?
How do you just like there was no indication that they like bought themselves out of a contract or something like that. They just like were like,
from what I read,
gone.
You spin it off when you try to sell it and no one wants to buy it. And so the option is you can just say, we're going to shut you down. But I guess I'm like, where is their money?
Let you go?
So do you think they're getting enough money from like residual sales and other IP licensing that they are solvent? Because they don't have any. That was what the article said. They have nothing on the horizon. They don't have
In the
games like
near
under
term.
in production right now. I don't know what this means,
I don't know either.
but I wish them honestly the best of luck.
Same. They've been around, like you said, they've been around for a long time. They've made some staples that everyone's heard of. So yeah, I hope they come back guns blazing and do something great now that they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
I
What
don't
the
know.
and this is a Microsoft studio technically, right?
Yeah.
So they also alluded to a partnership with Microsoft.
They're like, yeah, we're hoping we can partnership. We can partner
What?
with them in the future. Like, I don't
What?
understand what's
So
going on.
Microsoft is like, okay, go do your own thing, and also we'll give you money later. What?
I don't get it.
What does this mean? I don't know. No one knows.
Works.
But
Someone who's smarter than us just
yeah, seriously.
find it out.
Someone that
'Cause-
got a real degree. I don't know. Can you explain it to us? We don't get it. Somehow, Borderlands developer Gearbox might just escape from under Embracer ownership.
There's another one.
This is a rumor, but since it's been reported by Schreier, it's not really a rumor.
So no, something is happening. We just don't know how or what.
Yeah.
Like, we know that they're splitting off. We just don't know how it's going to happen.
Some background: Embracer bought Gearbox back in 2021 for $1.3 billion. I think this was one of their earlier acquisitions, if I'm remembering correctly. It was this one and Saber Interactive were their two big ones, and I think those were.
I think it's Sabre.
Sabre. Oh yeah, no, Sabre was first because they were in 2020. So yeah, they did those two big ones, and this was huge. This was, I think, the biggest one, if not the biggest acquisition. And this is kind of interesting. I picked this out of the Kotaku article, and I'm just going to read it because I think the whole paragraph's interesting. Gearbox rapidly expanded in an unwieldy way following the Embracer acquisition, becoming a home for additional studios and publishing operations. Embracer acquired Perfect World Entertainment in 2021 and reformed it as part of Gearbox Publishing. Gearbox acquired co-developer Lost Boys Interactive in 2022. And later that same year, Embracer announced that Volition, the 30-year-old studio behind Saints Row Reboot, would be folded under the Gearbox umbrella as well. So they basically bought Gearbox in 2021, and then they're like, you're in charge of everything. You do all this.
You can do whatever you want.
But also you have to do all these we're going to buy other studios and like put you in charge of them, which is not an experience they'd had before.
Maybe
What?
Gearbox was like an independently operated subsidiary or something like that. Like, they were owned by Embracer, but in operating independently, so they could still make their own acquisitions. I have no idea. That's what I would guess. If I had to guess, that's what was happening.
Yeah, I have no earthly idea.
Because that seems crazy that they're acquired and then they immediately start acquiring.
So maybe they saddled themselves with a bunch of debt, and Embracer's like, yeah, you can just go deal with that. I don't want that.
No, Embracer gave them a bunch of money. They spent that on
The million studios.
They spent that on acquiring those other smaller studios to put them under their umbrella, maybe. But now Gearbox, so there's a couple different ways they can do this. They're getting out from Embracer is the rumor, and that can either be done by Gearbox getting some funding from outside to buy themselves out,
Mm-hmm.
or being sold to somebody else.
Oh, you forgot the third option we just learned about tonight, Peterson.
Which is
They can just spin themselves
double
off,
finger out the door.
and then you spin off. Whatever that means, you just spin off.
Wait, full 360? They do
You
some
just
360
360.
spins?
And now there's two businesses
Yeah.
where there were one.
Yeah, you go full revolution.
Look, dude, there's not a lot of details on this. Randy Pitchford is not speaking up. So basically all we can do is wait for a thumb drive to show up at medieval times. That's the only way we're gonna find out.
So reportedly,
actually
Jason
happening.
Schreier's at Medieval Times waiting to get
Just
the
with a
thumb drive.
turkey leg, and he's hiding a voice recorder behind it, trying to look really casual.
Pitchford shows up and he's like, "Oh, hey, you're here too? Love this place."
Oh yeah, the turkey leg. I love that. You're like,
He's
can you
walking-
say that into the turkey leg?
As he walks in, there's just thumb drives falling out of his pants.
Just spilling everywhere. He reaches in his pocket to get his phone. 5 fall out. He just looks down and shrugs.
I don't
He's
even know
like,
what's
"That
on him.
happens all the time." You wouldn't believe how often this happens.
Could
to
be
me.
pornography. It
Yeah.
could be source code. I don't know what it
It
is.
could be anything important. I don't know. It's just a thumb drive. You plug it in. Embracer Group is also selling off Saber Interactive, throwing their engines overboard in an attempt to go faster. Dude, you get rid of Gearbox and Saber, and you've already gutted all your other studios. What are you anymore? What is your
I
plan?
don't know what their business model is. We
It's
are too
insane.
stupid to understand business, I think. Because this,
We don't even know what a spin-off is. Fucking idiots.
let alone why you would buy everybody, cancel all their stuff, close the studios, and then let them leave. I don't know what. Is that a good business strategy?
Well, dude, actually, this one was the only good Embracer deal I've seen in a year, and I'll explain why. This is, to rewind a little bit, another Schreier scoop. And apparently he talked to some people in the know at Saber Interactive that revealed that they're selling the studio out from under Embracer to a group of private investors for $500 million, $500 million. And if you rewind back to 2020, when they first purchased, Embracer purchased Saber, they purchased them for $525 million. So, yeah. So if they actually get this sale through, Saber will become a privately owned company with just like a little bit over 3,000 employees. And Embracer Group will only have lost $50 million.
No, you're
On
looking at
this.
it wrong. They're not losing any money. They're getting 500 mil in the bank, baby.
Yeah, dude. I love
They
that
can
gambler's
they can
logic.
start. They can start buying other stuff.
Now they can spend that money right away. First thing is a company party. Big yacht. I mean, champagne,
Company
strippers,
party.
everything.
Acquire some smaller studio. So you can shut them down later.
We'll shut them down later. It'll make us money. So yeah, Saber is big. I mean, Saber has a lot of subsidiaries, and so they're going to be able to keep all of those. They're just going to be and what does Saber get out of this? I guess they're just like, yeah, whatever. I think they did get hit with a bunch of layoffs before this. But they're
I'm
probably
sure.
feeling pretty relieved.
They're-
Anyone working there is probably feeling very relieved.
They're happy they got one of the lifeboats as Embracer's just sinking so fast. They're like, hey, we got a lifeboat. We're out of here.
And everyone's like, wait, did you put the captain and all his crew on that lifeboat? They're like, yeah. Well, what are you gonna do with the? Are we done? Are we gonna give up on the bigger boat? And he's like, yeah,
I don't know.
They'll figure it
probably,
out.
I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. Whether there's still people on that boat? Like, yeah, there's like 80 companies we just bought. They're like, oh,
Well,
know about that.
I hope they can figure it out, or we're gonna shut them down.
Dude, Embracer.
What I'm getting is seems to be zero benefit to being acquired as a video game studio.
No,
At first, we were like, dude, this is great because they're getting all this money. They can start doing whatever they want. No, it's the opposite. They
the
just get
worst thing.
acquired and then like it all goes downhill from there. I can't understand what the benefit is.
What are the 4 horsemen of the video game apocalypse? The first one I would say would be acquisition, and then cost cutting measures, and then getting rid of QA, and then when the investors come back around and say, make us a live service game. And that's the last one. That's the horse that kills everyone. It's over. Nope.
Yep,
Play
I
the
missed
play the
it.
song, baby.
I'm sorry to inform you. Welcome to another company reset. Hope you've updated your resume. 'Cause you've just been laid off.
We gave you a break last week, all just to save up for this week.
Yeah,
It's layoffs.
Last week was the calm before the storm.
We should have known. We should have known that these were coming. Just a brief catch up before we get started. Last year's layoffs totaled 10,500. This year, 2 months in to the year of our Lord 2024, and we are already up to 8,000. 80% of the way, 2 months in to where we ended up for the entire year of
I
2023.
mean, to be fair, there was an extra day so far this year. So, like,
That's a good point.
yeah.
Didn't take leap year into account.
Mhm, yeah.
So
Here's up
I
for
guess we're
this.
still on track. First up here, EA is cutting 5% of its workforce. Did you realize EA is 13,000 people strong?
Yeah, it was like 5% is no joke.
That's a lot of fucking people. That's like impact local economy number of people.
Yeah.
670 jobs of those 13,400 people will be cut. A note to staff, EA CEO Andrew Wilson said the company is also, quote, moving away from development of future licensed IP that we do not believe will be successful in our changing industry. That's actually not a bad idea. Why are we paying for IP? You're a video game studio. Just make something up. Are you fucking serious? You're EA. You own 30, 40 years of IP. What are you fucking doing paying for licenses? You morons.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you don't need to make. I don't know if it makes the game better if it's a Star Wars game
Mhm.
than if it's just
Make a good game, assholes.
space game. Because like we're seeing that with Helldivers 2.
Yeah, we don't need an IP.
There's no
Just make
IP
it
on
up.
it. You could put an IP on it if you
You
wanted.
could
to.
put Starship
Don't need
Troopers
it.
on there.
You don't need it.
No, stupid.
Mm-mm.
They're apparently informing people of the impacts. I love when they call layoffs impacts. Eat my shit. The process will be, quote, largely completed by early next quarter. What the fuck? You kidding me? People are still have to, so that there's another month in this quarter. That's gonna take
So
you
they're
that
saying-
long. You're announcing that and then just letting people sit and squirm and
about it.
sweat, wondering if they're gonna be next. Peterson, I mean, what do you think that does for employee morale? Just like being the HR guy.
Well, I know what it does. It's not great because so like when we lay people off, we give them a 60-day notice. And that's like a great benefit, right? It's better than like just like,
Yeah.
hey, pack your bags, you're out. But you think those people when they've got a 60-day notice in hand
They work
are
so hard, right?
stoked to have that? No, it's like it's awful. It's awful for them, for their coworkers. Like everybody's bummed.
Yeah.
And yeah, so announcing this like this, and then being like, who's it gonna be? Of course, QA's like just already
QA's
like,
packed their bags. They're like, haha, let's not kid
Not
ourselves.
go.
The
Let's
thing
just
that's
go.
kind of crazy about this, and we probably reported on this, but last March, so a year ago this month, EA cut 6% of their staff. Back then, that was 775 people.
What?
So we're just doing an annual like 5 to 6% reduction in force every year until what? We feel
Oof.
good? Dude, that's wild. So you survived last year's layoffs and you're like, well, that was 6%. They're not going to do another round anytime soon. Yes, they will, and they'll do it again next year.
Next
Until
year's
you've learned your
4%.
lesson.
They're just gonna go down 1% for the next 6 years.
That's what you guys get for wanting to make video games.
Ugh.
Among these cuts, they're also canceling their first-person shooter Star Wars game.
Which is
I don't know.
kind of a bummer. Like,
Does that cost them money? Do they have to pay out that contract, do you think, or what?
so they're probably I don't know how it works, but if I would guess they were like they bought the license to make a game, right? If they're saying, hey, we get to make one Star Wars game and pay for that. And so they probably still have that or sell it back. I don't know how it works at all.
Well,
Zero, but
got to save them money because they canceled it. And then the other two, they're not going to cancel, even though they did talk shit about IPs and whatever. There's a Black Panther and an Iron Man game. They're still a go. Those will still be coming out.
so let me get
Probably.
this straight. You cut the Star Wars game,
Uh-huh.
which is a first-person shooter, which seems like it could be fun, which we
Yeah.
have for a while, to go in for more Marvel. Even
Yeah.
the last one was a huge
And
hurt.
Marvel's tank. I mean, both of those are not doing well, like in the public
Yeah,
mind. Yeah, that's
those games better be like close to coming out then, because if they're like,
I
"No,
imagine that's what I got. That was my impression, is like it would be, they're so close, it would be absolutely stupid to cancel them. Especially where, I mean, this is the trend, every studio's canceling games. God, if you get a game out this year or next year, people might just buy it because there's nothing else out there.
that is true. That's absolutely true."
This next one, we're not gonna pretend that this isn't anything but a layoff. Is Rockstar is forcing return to office. Beginning in April, they'll be asking their employees to return to the office 5 days a week, which we all know is just a functional layoff. People aren't going to be able to come back financially or otherwise for whatever reason, or they've moved,
Yeah, they
or
were
they
told
can't
told
commute.
you can go ahead and work virtually, or
Mhm.
this is
They
not
made
going
plans.
away.
Yeah.
And they left. They left
Yeah.
town because it's way cheaper to go somewhere else.
Yeah. So this is a great way to lay people off, but to have them voluntarily quit instead, so you don't call it a layoff. But that's what this is. In an email to staff on Wednesday, reviewed by Bloomberg, Rockstar head of publishing Jen Kolb said the decision was made for, quote, productivity and security reasons. Security, they did have that big leak. Productivity, it is hard to crack a literal whip if there's not a back there for it, I guess. So they
Yeah,
gotta yell at somebody.
I did see another story, and I didn't like read it too hard, but I did see another story that one of the high ups on Grand Theft Auto was like, "No, this is a bad idea because our team is crushing it out of office right now. Like, why are
Yeah.
we bringing them back?" And like at this, it's a critical point, right? They are at a critical point in game development because Grand Theft Auto 6 is like hot and heavy. They're going hard right now.
Yeah.
And now they're like, hey, we're gonna just beat up your morale a little bit. So this is, I think, gonna take they'll take a hit in terms of productivity for the next several months.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
people are bummed about that,
There's all sorts of things when you're working in teams across the world. Taking a late meeting, an 8:00, 9:00 meeting from home is nothing, and it doesn't slow people down because you can say, "Yeah, sure, throw that on my calendar. I can accept that." 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and I'm back. It's not something I want to do, but I'm working on Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yep.
You switch that to in office. Well, they're expecting you to stay in the office till 9, and then you take that meeting. And then maybe you get called into another one, and then you're home by 10.
Either that or productivity goes downhill.
Because you say,
because they're
no,
like-
I'm not going to take that call.
Yeah,
It gets
let's just-
pushed a week.
yeah.
And then what the fuck happens? Because
You
you guys
can
can't get on the
tomorrow.
call as quickly as you should
Yep.
if you were working from home. So this is just kind of a no-brainer. It's just they're trying to cut staff at a great time, right before your huge AAA game comes out. Make sure to drop some your productive.
I have huge mixed feelings about return to office. So yeah, I'm not. It's a touchy subject, I think.
Peterson likes to microwave fish, but he's always bummed when there's not anyone there to like look disgusted while
I
he
go
eats
into
it.
the office, nobody's there.
Yeah.
I've got so much fish. I brought extra fish. I'm
It's
leaving it around.
inconsiderate
No one
of
even
them.
says anything. It's stupid.
Yeah. What's the point? You're just like throwing fish in the garbage, and no one's even going to smell that. Stupid.
Yeah.
505 Games is closing offices in Germany, Spain, and France, which somehow will only affect 10 employees. What? What does that mean? How did you have 3 studios across 3 countries and there's only 10 employees? Are they all running a skeleton
honestly,
crew?
they probably should have closed.
Are they all
those
janitors?
offices.
What is that?
You have an office for 2 guys.
2 guys and the janitor.
Like, oh no, you can work in Germany if you want. You can go to the office. He's like, crap, they have an office here. He goes in. It's like a rent by the week hotel room.
Yeah. Like this is 505 Games Germany. Apparently, alongside this, Remedy, the guys that made Control, are taking it back. They're paying around $18 million, and they will go back to self-publishing. 505 Games was publishing Control. I think they had partial ownership in the
They'll
IP.
take back control of Control.
Yeah, you like that?
Nice. I do like that.
So again, this isn't really them going indie, but this is them taking ownership. Everyone's just snatching all their stuff up because they know the money men are out there with hatchets and they're just chopping heads, man.
Yeah, these guys probably want to make Control 2. Control was a huge success. Like, people loved it. I only heard good things about it, right? And these guys want to make Control 2, and they know if they start making Control 2, if they're already in the process of it, it's gonna get destroyed by some old corporate overlord that's like
505 Games
make
can't
it
have
a
it.
games as a service game.
They just fired 10 janitors. I can't trust those guys with Control 2. Last one here is actually kind of big, even among the other ones. PlayStation is laying off 8% of their current workforce. Did you notice who wrote the blog post? This blog post from PlayStation
No.
outlining the layoff? It's fucking Jim Ryan. This guy is like out this month. In fact, this is
his last act.
Yes, in this fucking like blog post, they outline that they're closing the London studio. And if you go on Twitter, there's this picture of fucking Jim Ryan standing there smiling in the London studio like 5 days ago.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Dude,
looking at this right now.
Did you see that? He's standing there smiling 5 days before he knows everyone there smiling with him saying, goodbye, Jim. Happy retirement. Have fun. And he's just standing surrounded by people he knows are all going to be fired.
The image I have of everything we talk about this whole episode is people going out the door with double middle fingers. He's like, all right, see you guys later. Bam, 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 just flipping them off.
Yeah, he's like, hey, thanks for the cake. I hope you guys save some. You might need it later. They're like, wait, why? What did you say that? Why did you say that, Jim? He says, don't worry about it for 5 more days. They're like, why do you keep making these weird comments, Jim? It's like, it's nothing you need to worry about.
You guys will hear from me in a business week.
Basically, all you need to worry about is your resume. You know what I mean? You're like, Jim. And then he's like, peace, I'm out. He writes this blog post. It's like, hey, we're canning 900 people, 8%. Just about every single part of Sony Interactive Entertainment is going to be affected by this. And he's just like, bye. And then he's going to quit. And then Hiroki Totoki is going to take over. A workforce that is honestly just gutted and
he's
devastated.
Over here doing this. Hiroki's doing this. He's like, I was going to run the London studio.
No, I don't think this is Jim Ryan's
titles.
decision. I just think Jim Ryan just had to he was just delivering the bad news.
Yeah, they were like, we got some bad news. Jim, you're on your way out.
This is part of his severance package. If he didn't do this, we're talking he loses millions of dollars. My God.
He was like, but I was just there a few days ago. Like, it was going really well. And they're like, yeah, we understand. No,
they're gone.
And
also, this was a huge thing for me. They're canceling their Twisted Metal game. This is a series on Peacock that is in its 2nd season.
Did really well.
It's got nothing makes more sense
the game
than pushing out. And it was supposed to be a live service game. So what is that? The Fourth Horseman? So we all knew that wasn't going to work.
I could see Twisted Metal as like a live service game. Be like,
yes, it would have made money
for your stupid car.
And you can't get that out the door to the point that you're like, we're not even going to try that, even though The last one came out in 2012, and we're in the series in 2024 in its second season. I really struggled to wrap my head around that one.
I do too. I was feeling the same thing. I was like, you don't hear about a lot of car games getting canceled because,
Yeah.
again, I don't know about game development, but
You don't have to make legs or arms
seem
move.
easier
How hard is that?
than people, right?
Everything goes in a circle.
You've got less dialogue. You've got less, just like all these
Yeah.
things. You have less NPCs.
Twisted
so,
Metal
yeah.
seems they were making Twisted Metal games on the PlayStation.
Yes, I'm really confused by this one. Like you said, because the tie into the show, like this could have been a success. I would have, if they said, "Hey, we got Twisted Metal game coming out in conjunction with season 2," I would be like, "This game's gonna make money."
Yeah,
but they canceled it. I mean, did you see the other studios that it's impacting to the layoff, the PlayStation?
It's everyone.
Insomniac, Guerrilla, Naughty Dog, Fire Sprite.
All the guys that are making games that win a ton of awards. They have a 9+ Metacritic score. Their sales are off the fucking charts. Horizon Zero Dawn sold like billions of dollars worth of units, and they're getting laid off. What do you fucking want from us? What do you want us to do?
This is why we've said it. We're just like a broken record at this point. But like, indie games are where it's at because AAA studios legit just can't even make games anymore.
Yeah.
Like, even if they wanted to, even if they were working on a game and it had the recipe for success, it's not gonna happen.
It's like they hate video games. That's just like the impression I've been getting from AAA studios. It's like, do you guys even like the video games?
I don't think so.
Like, we see movies like that seem to be made by people who hate movies, like Aquaman 2.
Yeah.
I'm like, everyone there hates movies. I get it. You guys fucking are cynical and you think we're all, the audience is stupid idiots who might choke on their own drool, but AAA game studios, I'm like, what are you guys doing if you don't even like this? Like, you don't want to make a Twisted Metal game? That doesn't sound fun.
I feel like I want a Twisted Metal game. Like, if they did it right, I feel like I would want to play that.
Make it happen, you fucking dumbasses.
I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know what they're doing.
I don't either. All right, let's do this.
Yeah.
Riblets been on my mind a lot lately.
I had ribs for dinner tonight. They were big fat ribs, though.
Jenna made crock pot ribs, and they just changed my life, man.
Ooh, how'd it work? Did it go well in the crock pot? I've never done that.
Dude, that's the only. She's never made ribs before, and she made them in the crock pot, and they were honestly the best ribs I've ever had in my life.
You just like trim the rib rack beforehand?
Yeah, she cuts it in half, and then she does them for 4 hours, and she rotates
it in half, long way, right? So they're shorter,
so the
ribs.
riblets. Yeah. So you can make riblets, right? And then you just have like the ends sticking out the crock pot, and you rotate them into the crock pot every 20 minutes.
Smart.
And then they just drip on the counter.
Jenna's a very smart cook.
Yeah.
She's just
dude, it's kind of weird getting my Sawzall out in the winter, but you got to do what you got to do. No, riblets are meat nuggets of news. They're you cut your rack of ribs in half with a Sawzall because you love the bone bits that fleck off in your mouth when you eat them.
Maybe a little bit of cartilage. I don't know.
Short news stories. That's what it is. Short news, like short ribs. The Switch W was delayed, so there wouldn't be shortages. So take that, scalpers. Fuck you. Eat my shit. Kiss my ass. Fuck you.
That was JD's takeaway from this story. Again, the double middle finger. Screw you, scalpers.
So basically, that's what it was. Is they're like, yeah, we probably could have pushed out the Switch in Q4 of this year, but both the things that I get. Well, I didn't guess about the scalpers. That's smart, but they didn't want to deal with shortages, and they didn't want to deal with releasing with a light software offering. That is, the games that they had available when they launched aren't that great, and it kind of depresses sales. So they want it to come out when everything's screaming hot and everything's sexy. So they're looking. This is a report from Japanese news publication Nikkei. And this is saying that priority is given to initial inventory of the successor console and a lineup of software titles at the time of its launch in an attempt to avoid widespread reselling. So we're looking at March 2025,
That's okay.
a year from this month.
Honestly, not in any huge rush. It's
Nope.
a bummer that it won't be out for Christmas because that's an easy Christmas gift.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't
But
been able to
if
get one anyway.
But if you get, I mean, that's kind of a different school of thought on the console releases. You release them in November, so everyone has a couple weeks to demand mommy and daddy go out and get them one, or you release it in March and let it build some real steam. Bunch of games come out. Oh, new cool game on the Switch W comes out in October, and now everyone needs one. Well, now you've had 10 months, and now you ask for it for Christmas, and there's 1 billion units available, so everyone can just walk into Target and walk out with one.
Yeah.
That's how you move a lot of consoles, in my opinion. Europeans are going to be removing Balatro from the Switch store because gambling.
I love this one so much. They moved it overnight. They changed the rating to Peggy 18, which I had previously never heard of.
Now you see it everywhere.
They moved it up to overnight, which removed it from a bunch of markets because it had gambling in it. There is no gambling in this game at all. There's not like
you can't exchange money.
Buy. You can't even bet money. There's not a way to bet money in the game. It's just because it is a poker themed game. It is as much poker as Yahtzee is. And so was
it corrected? Did they correct this?
They were working to get it corrected.
Oh, okay.
The Balatro devs were working to get it corrected because they were like, this is nonsense. So yes, it's good to know that Europe is as stupid. European adults are as stupid as US adults when it comes to understanding what video games are.
Yeah, no, they're all just listening to Fox News. Tell us what these video games are doing.
It's a poker game. My kid can't play poker.
That's Peggy 18. I know it. I know it when I see it. I just don't know what it is. Meta is about to start deleting Oculus accounts.
Why?
So you guys are like, wait, this is still happening? That was my first thought. But Meta stopped. We reported on this last year. Meta stopped letting users log into their Oculus accounts last January. And so they're like, if you want, you have to switch over. Like you can't even log in with it, which I get, like doing that spitefully. I used to have a Nest Cam and then Google bought them, and Google's like, migrate over to your Google account. I was like, no. And I had to click like 4 extra buttons every time I wanted to log into Nest, and it would always log me out if I wanted to log in using my Nest login. So Facebook said, fuck you, you don't get to do that. And they shut it down in January. But if you didn't do that, if your Oculus is sitting on a shelf dusty and you just haven't logged in and you're like, yeah, I'll do it later. Yes, you will be losing your account. They will delete everything associated with it. Anything that you have saved, any of your achievements or anything like that, beginning March 29th. So the 29th of this month.
If you try to log in with that login on your Oculus, it will do a Mission Impossible and just like self-destruct.
Yeah, it will explode glass directly in your eye sockets.
We told you. We
tried to warn you.
You didn't listen.
Zuckerberg told you. You weren't listening. Also, this new Helldivers. A couple fake listings for Helldivers popped up on the Steam store.
This just makes me so happy because
this doesn't make any sense as a scam. Because I looked and I was like, so what happens is there's this game called Figularity, and then there's another game too. 2 games. Change their name of their game to Helldivers. Change the name of the developer on the thing to the Helldivers studio. And then they dropped the price of the game to like $2 so that people would accidentally buy it thinking they were buying Helldivers. What is that?
I don't know. But
why? Because Steam, Valve openly, like this is not like a secret you have to find out. Everyone knows that Steam holds on to any money that you get as a developer for 30 days. To account for refunds, to account for scams, account for shit like this.
Yeah.
So it's not just like a heist. You didn't Ocean's 11
Like getting
Steam.
a bunch of money.
You just like inconvenienced a handful of people and got yourself permanently blacklisted from the Steam marketplace. I don't understand. And I thought
I
maybe
don't either.
it was the resellers, the reseller websites that you see like on isthereanydeal.com.
Yeah.
Maybe they were going to, you know, end up eating the cost of this. And then nope, they weren't, it wasn't even listed on those sites because they was shut down so quickly that it wasn't. So I just don't, and this happened to Pal World too. Pal World had a couple of games switch their name to Pal World, made a couple sales before they were like, nope, that's fake. What are we doing? And then Steam just shut it down immediately. Valve just shut it down.
Yeah,
So
do you actually like get any money out of this? It doesn't seem like you would.
no, that's what I'm saying, dude. This is like the worst heist I have ever heard of. I don't understand it. Like
I'm
it's-
mad that none of them named it like Hell Drivers or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
this is like openly stealing chips off of a casino table. Like, it's not money. You can't do anything with it. And if you try to cash it in, you're going to get caught.
Yeah.
What is the plan here? I don't know. I'm so confused. Also, Helldivers, another Helldivers story here is that Helldivers has a Hunger Games styles game master. Explain this one to me briefly because I know you're going to be reviewing it later.
Yes. His name is Joel. Joel is a single guy and he is the game master of Helldivers.
So the story is like progressing live.
So yes,
while
there
you
are
play
like
it?
these missions that will happen because like as you're playing, there's a community goal. So like this planet in this air sector is being attacked by the robots. You
Right.
need to complete missions, and like if you complete enough missions, you have liberated that planet from the robot presence. And if not, then the robots win, and you got to like work harder, right? And there's all these missions that will pop up. Joel is the one doing that. One guy. And honestly, he's doing
That's
a
awesome.
great job.
Good for him.
The story's fun and it's like they've got a great I'll talk about it in a little bit, but Joel is killing it. And I just love that he's called Game Master. That's his job title.
This is the idea that so it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the element of a live service game that is good.
Yes.
And it's
they're
working, but
actually
this
doing-
is
I'll talk about their live service aspects, but honestly, Helldivers is killing it. When it comes to like live service elements, they're doing everything right.
and I feel like I've never heard of this before, even amidst the decade we've been slogging through the industry's trend toward live service games, and never heard of something like this. Someone like maintaining, like even on a Destiny game, they anyway.
I want this job, to be honest. This is a job
This sounds sick.
I want to be
Yeah.
just the game master and be like, he's the DM. He's the DM for however million people are playing Helldivers 2.
So
It's
fun.
Great.
The Pal World developers apologized for fixing a fan favorite bug.
This one just made me sad because they accidentally fixed it. They didn't even know they were fixing it. That's how bad they are. At their jobs.
That's classic
That
Pal World
tracks.
dev stuff. They tried to fix one bug. They accidentally fix a dozen bugs and make the game run smoother. They're like, we don't know how we did it. We're sorry. Okay.
They didn't even know that they were fixing this bug. Because in the Pal World, there's towers that are like boss fights where you can fight these like big bosses, and you're not supposed to be able to capture them. The first one is a lady riding on this giant Pokemon thing.
Yeah.
And
machine gun.
You're not supposed to be able to capture them. You can. There was a certain way. My kid did it. He was joking around. He thought you couldn't capture it. I already told him you couldn't, and he did capture it. And so every time he would throw it back out, it would be this huge Pokemon with a machine gun with a girl on it, like a human girl riding him. So you could capture it, and that was the bug. You're not supposed to be able to. They fixed it, and people are upset about it.
It's amazing.
I love it. I love the whole
I
story
love
of
that
Power
they
World.
can't.
Makes me so happy.
Yeah, they can't do any. They literally cannot do wrong. It's like they are drinking luck potion, and all 40 people making that game don't know what they're doing, and they just hammer at the keyboard like monkeys, and it makes the game better. And they're like, I don't know what we're doing.
Like, you fixed this bug that we kind of liked it, and they were like, I didn't even know I was fixing that bug. How did I fix
was
it? Who did that? And everyone's like, I don't.
I was
even
trying to
know that
rename a
was-
folder.
I was
Sorry.
logging in. My login was messed up, and next thing I know, it was fixing bugs. I
Yeah,
think they have like a really good AI just running the company, and they don't know about it. That's what I
Yeah.
think is happening.
this game's just being made by the very first AI, and they're just like along for the ride.
And they have no idea. That's the
Yeah.
key, though.
Yeah.
Kudos. Kudos. Kudos.
Kudos, our positivity segment. Also, if you're in London, apparently Gordon Ramsay taught me
Yes.
kudos.
Kudos.
Stupid.
I don't like it when he says that.
herbs. Calling them herbs. That one I can get behind. It's phonetic, but kudos.
I
I
don't
feel like you're fucking with
get
me.
that. Yeah.
Quit messing with our language. Get out
I
of
feel
here.
like that's the way an idiot would read it.
Yeah. Someone who sees the word for the first time.
And doesn't understand
Kudos.
other languages. Like
Nah.
kudos.
Hate that. So we've got a couple. Well, Peterson, you have kudoses this week. I got no kudos. What do you got?
Okay, I can do them. I'll do a couple quick ones because the first one is for Dune Part 2. I
Yes,
saw
we're going
it.
on Wednesday in IMAX.
I will. Obviously I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I mean, it is outstanding. I
yes.
did see complaints online. They're like they changed elements of the story from the book, but you're like, the book
Have you
is
read the book?
the book is crazy,
Yeah.
like detailed and stuff. Like you're not going to do it. Honestly, it's phenomenal. It's so well done. Brandon Sanderson fans are like, we want Dennis Villeneuve.
You had it.
What's his name? Villanueva,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. We want him to be do the Cosmere books if they're turned into a movie because he did so well. He did
Yeah.
so well, and of course, like it is a star-studded cast. But honestly, everyone's so good. Like everyone's great. They all do fantastic job. Zendaya, she just nails it. It's great. They spend more time on Gady Prime, which is the Harkonnens planet.
Oh, really?
It's just like there's a big scene on there, and it looks great. Like they have these
That's
fireworks,
sick.
they're doing celebrations, and the fireworks are like more like, but they look like slime explosions in the air. They're not like,
Perfect Harkonnen shit.
yes, it is as
That's
gross as
awesome.
you would
Yeah, because the
expect.
book doesn't spend like any time there. That's cool.
So they go there, they just because they've got like a big scene there. It's really great. It honestly great. It's 2.5 hours long. My kids did not enjoy it. My wife didn't really like it, but they're not into like sci-fi the way I am. My oldest son, who was with us, not my oldest, but my 14-year-old, like completely didn't understand what was going on. My 10-year-old did. It shows
Lily
you-
would get it.
Yeah.
Lily's
I
your
d-
smartest kid.
I did not
She would
bring
get
her.
it.
Ryan is very smart when it comes to this sort of thing, so he got it. Colin was like, Colin thought spice was for food, and I was like, wait, he's seen both movies, and I was like,
We can't even explain it at this point. You're,
I was
you're
like,
out of luck.
never mind.
Never mind.
But no, it's fantastic. So if you're on the fence, to watch both movies. I love them. I think they're great movies. Dune 2, so good. I want
Yeah.
to see it again. The funny thing too is we went into the movie and it was windy outside. Other than that, fine. We came out of the movie with like 3 inches of snow on our car. So that was
Beautiful.
fun. That was fun. And then my last one is for Yapoki. I think that's how you say it. It is a Korean food. I talked to Lynn about this a little bit, and I meant to give it kudos last week.
Kudos.
But no, it's Yapoki, and you can just look it up. It's Yoppoki. And the way I've been eating them is they're little they just call them rice cakes, but it is more like a thick rice noodle the size of like a gnocchi, And I've been eating them in like little instant Yopoki soup packs, almost like a instant cup of
Okay.
ramen or something like that. Put the hot water in, put the seasonings, let it sit for a little bit and eat it. But the thing about these rice cakes is they are, first time I ate one, I was like, what the freak am I eating? And then I couldn't stop. And now I'm obsessed with them because they're like gnocchi. They're very chewy though. Like in the way a rice noodle is chewy. So they're these chewy, and they're in a Korean sauce. So some of them are spicy, some of them are not. I love them. And it's not like a huge cup. And so it is good for like if you're like a quick lunch, or I've even had one at late night snack because they're just not that big. I love them. Look it up, Yopoki, if you like interesting textures, because it is fun to eat these little chewy pillows in some Korean sauce. Or there's a cheese sauce one if you're not adventurous. And the cheese sauce one is fine. So look it up, Yopoki. Lynn loves them, and she is into Korean stuff. I think she's half Korean.
Into Korean stuff. That is one way to say Lynn is Korean.
No. But she's like, I know Korean people who are like, yeah, whatever. No, she's into Korean stuff.
That's true. Yes.
She's very into it. And she was like, oh, I love Yopoki. And so she started going off. She was a little drunk, she later admitted at the time, but I understood everything she said, and I agreed with her assessments of Yopoki. So check it out.
Nice. Get it, and then go see Dune 2.
You eat some Yopoki while you're watching. Sneak it into the theater. It won't be hard because the teenagers do not care.
They don't care about anything.
Rundown.
Okie doke, our rundown is this thing we do or talk about a video game. We don't really know what it is, but
I'm going to just say stuff
important.
until I hopefully meet the criteria of a rundown.
Been meaning to run down this game for a long time. Peterson is in on the hype. Helldivers 2.
Helldivers
playing
2.
all the hype games this year. That was your New Year's resolution.
Yeah, and like I'm not even trying to. I just want to. They've looked good, and so I'm in. So I've been playing Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 came out about a month ago. This is a online co-op third-person shooter game. So you are playing as this character. You are, first of all, the theme of Helldivers 2 is that you are a
expendable soldier.
Yes, and your planet is called Super Earth. You are a citizen of Super Earth, and you've been recruited as a Helldiver. Helldivers' main goal is to spread democracy and freedom.
Yeah,
by
just like the Peoria police does.
same methodology. Just
shoot freedom at the end of a gun.
Yes, and it is funny because that's like what they say, and it is kind of like this joke, like spread democracy, for freedom and stuff like that. And you do it while you're fighting. Even one of the like in-game tips while you're loading says, if you find yourself confused or scared of your situation, just charge in head first and yell for democracy.
That's the tutorial.
The game is very tongue-in-cheek with that sort of stuff, with like
Super Troopers kind of comedy.
Yes,
the movie, not the book.
Yes, very on theme all the time, and they know what they are, and it's funny. Honestly, it's very frequently funny. But what you are is you're a Helldiver, which means you are this kitted out soldier, and you dive in to these planets, and then you're fighting either these like big bugs. It looks like Starship Troopers when you find the bugs. You're fighting these bugs, or you're fighting these robots. And it is cool because it is very different fighting bugs versus robots.
Yeah, I'm looking at this robot's got 2 chainsaw arms, the scariest shit.
And they just charge you. And honestly, if those guys get you, you're in big trouble. So you got your base weapon. You've got a base weapon. You've got a sidearm, which is like a pistol of some sort, and you've got a third weapon, which you have to unlock. So when you drop in, you've just got your 2 weapons and some grenades, right? you have 4 slots that you can equip like a secondary type another item, and it's a drop down, and the way you enter this in is cheat code style. On my keyboard, I hold down left control, which pulls up the menu because your guy's actually looking at his wristband thingy.
Yeah.
You pull it up, and so of course, picture this: like there's chaos. It's like robots shooting at you and stuff. And you're like, I got called in an extra gun, or I got to call in an airstrike. You pull this up, and then each thing has their own code. You have to hit like up, down, left, up, down, and so you're like looking at it frantically, trying to hit it.
Dude,
Sometimes you miss it.
what
Sometimes
happens if you get
got
it wrong? Just you have to try it
stops,
again.
and you got to keep doing it. And I get it wrong a lot, especially when they're confused. Some of them I swear are purposely confusing, but you call this in. So the different things you can call in. There's like airstrikes you can call in, and there's a bunch of different types of airstrikes you can call in. Call in firebomb. You can call in just like a precision airstrike. You can call in a Gatling airstrike where it just like shoots a bunch of things in the area. There's tons of them. You can call in like a nuke. And then you can call down weapons. So you can unlock different weapons that you can equip and call down, like a laser cannon, machine gun. There's all these different things you can call down. You can call down support items. So like I have a backpack that has like a laser robot drone that follows me around and shoots lasers at stuff. So all of these things you unlock by playing. There's it's very much a play to win type of game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not pay to win because you have to play to unlock credits, so you can unlock different commissions. That's what they're called. Unlock different commissions to call stuff down. You have to unlock different weapons. Of course, you can unlock different armor, and they're not only cosmetic. Some of them actually have a purpose as well.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to do this by playing the game and earning in-game credit. But the way I mentioned earlier how this is like they do all the live service game aspects really well because there is a battle pass type of thing, and it's very much like a Fortnite battle pass.
Are these maps like generated? Are they? Is it like an algorithm, or are these like hand?
I think they're randomly generated because so I think they're randomly generated, but like,
yeah, you're
often look similar, but you're not like it's not a static map. Excuse me. So you're not like, oh, I know exactly where I need to go. So we go here. It's kind of it's very mixed. So that's all randomly generated. When you drop into, there'll be like these patrols of just enemies that will just be wandering around. If you draw their attention, they'll attack you. If not, they'll just keep going.
So what kind of missions are you doing? Just like point A to point B, just trying to get somewhere?
No. So there's a few different types of missions, which actually has been really great because it does get a little repetitive in terms of the gameplay, which isn't a bad thing, because it's very fun. But so like there's a mission where you have to just defend a point and you have to kill 250 bugs, and then a dropship comes down. You have to get on the dropship. There's a mission where you have to go to a spot, it's like a compound, and there are scientists behind locked doors. You have to let them out, and they run to the evac area. But while they're running, of course, the enemies are trying to kill them.
Yeah,
and if you don't protect them, they'll kill all of them. They go for them. Like you'll be right next to them, right next to the scientist.
They don't care.
They go for the scientist first. There's one where you have to launch a nuke. So you have to go to one point, get the launch codes, go to the next point, turn on the generator, and then go to the third point and launch the ICBM. So there's like a bunch of different mission types, but on almost every mission map, except for the defend a point one, because it's just a tiny little map, every other mission, there are submissions you can do. They're like, oh, there's a nest of bugs. You don't have to do these, if you get more XP if you do. Oh, there's a nest of bugs over here. Go destroy this nest. There's a illegal broadcast, which is don't listen to the super Earth people,
Yeah.
And so you have to go shut that off. And so there's just like a bunch of side missions that you do, and there's a timer. So there's a timer going. Because when you finish the mission, you call down your evac ship. And if the timer goes off, you just I think I can't remember what happens. Like you have a harder time evac. You can still win the mission, but you can't call down commissions because essentially what the timer is how long your mothership that's above the planet can stay up there before they start getting in trouble.
Oh, okay.
So so you can still do that, but there's a timer. You got to beat the timer. So you're like doing all the side missions. You're like, we don't have time to finish them all. We just got to get to the evac spot, call in the dropship, and then it's like a 2-minute timer from when you call in the dropship to like, all right, defend this spot for 2 minutes until the dropship shows up. When you die, your fellow hell divers that's one of the things you can enter on your wrist to call your buddy back in. They have to come pick up their stuff. There's things to collect as you're running around. So there's a lot to do. Very chaotic. There's difficulty level settings. You can turn those up. Very chaotic. But as you turn difficulty up, you're higher rewarded. So you are rewarded for playing and you want to play. I think that's the key. And it's fun because it's just like shooting, calling down airstrikes, and it doesn't stop being chaos.
Yeah.
You just go the whole time. So it's fun. We usually do 3 or 4 missions before we're honestly like, okay, I gotta be done.
Just too amped.
Because it was just so much chaos the whole time.
Yeah, you never can take a breath, it looks like.
You're killing lots of stuff. But again, the game keeps it very fun. I mean, obviously there are like big enemies that are harder to kill, but you have to work together. There are some where you can't really kill them easily from the front. You can kill them from behind. So you're like, hey, there's a charger coming in. He's on me. I'm going to run him past you. You're going to shoot him in the butt, right? Shoot him from behind. So there's lots of like, you have to communicate a lot because you don't want to you can kill your teammates. There's team damage. So you don't want to drop an airhead right on your teammate.
Yeah.
There's lots of communication. Honestly, this game is a blast to play. Anyone who's into like a fast-paced shooter, earning rewards and unlocking stuff is a massive part of it. I mentioned the battle pass. The battle pass, the thing that's good about it is there is a free battle pass. Straight up.
Okay.
A full thing is free, and you just unlock stuff by playing and earning these medals, and that's how you unlock all the crap on the battle pass. There is also a paid battle pass, which has less pages of items than the free one, but it just has some other stuff that there's a couple extra guns on there if you want to do those. But again, it's a team-based game, so it's like
it benefits everyone.
Yeah, but there's not pay to win. It's like, oh, that guy's paying. You're just like, oh, that guy's paying.
Oh, he's got some cool guns.
That's gonna help.
Yeah.
And so I think that's another aspect of why they did that so well. There is a store where you can use your super credits to buy stuff, and super credits are the currency. There's only one type of currency that you can purchase, super credits, and you can use that in the store. The store only has 4 items in it at a time, and it refreshes every couple days. You also earn super credits on the free battle pass, and the items are cheap. That's the other thing. The armor items you can buy in the super store, they're like $2 if you were to just buy it outright. So very cheap. So honestly, everything so far has been.
So talk to me about the game price.
The game is, let's see, it's $40.
And you paid that straight up, or was it on sale?
I paid $40.
And it's not on Game Pass or anything else.
Nope. So I paid $40.
It's on Steam.
I was totally okay spending $40 on this game.
Okay.
And even we bought it for Steven because it was his birthday, and we're like, oh, let's all pitch in and buy it for him. So we bought him this game. So because it is worth it. As $40, which I mean is a lot, but it's not full price game, right?
Right.
So
it's not 70.
It's
not a
70,
quadruple
it's not
A.
60. So yeah, it's worth $40. I have played for, let's see, where am I at? Let's see, I've played for 14 hours, and like I'm gonna play it. We're gonna be playing it for the next month at least. Just like
oh yeah,
play a few rounds every night.
And they'll probably add stuff to this for years, especially
Yeah,
they're
I
doing
mean,
a battle pass and stuff.
We've got Joel. Joel is in there doing the story
Mm,
stuff,
Yeah, new
which
monsters and things.
has been a lot of fun. They've already talked about I saw a story said they were going to add mechs, so you can unlock a mech
Yeah.
and you can use a
Drop
mech
it down
hop
there,
in and
just like
start.
Titanfall.
Yeah, just
Sweet.
because this game is over the top.
Yeah.
My biggest complaint, my only complaint, is that it does get repetitive because the missions are the same types of missions.
Yeah.
And you're doing the same thing, largely doing the same thing, but like that's it. I mean, and that's and for $40, I'm okay with that. If this was $70, I'd be a little bit miffed, but it's $40.
Yeah.
I'm not even bugged by that. I'm just like, oh man, it'd be cool when they add some new stuff.
Yeah,
So,
I'm gonna add this to my wish list on Steam, knowing that it's like the only way to get it.
yeah, and so I will say this game is easily best played with friends. You can drop in with other people, and you can communicate with them. But I've found that the communication is pretty low with randos.
And how many people can you have? At a
4.
just 4 max.
4 at a time. Yep. But when you're playing with friends, man, it is just spot on. It's perfect. So, anyways, that's Helldivers 2. I do think $40 is a good price for it. They have made it feel very much worth its value. It does run my graphics card pretty hot. There's a lot of stuff going on. Haven't turned the graphics down yet. You can. But honestly, I'm super enjoying this game. So between this and Balatro, like I can't stop. I can't stop.
Nice,
I want to play it
dude.
so bad.
That's
So,
awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna be picking up Balatro tomorrow.
you got to play Balatro. Everyone needs to play Balatro.
Yeah.
Like, forget anything else I said. Play Balatro.
Yeah, I'm into that. Okay, cool. So Helldivers 2 officially ran down.
It is. I hope I did it. I hope I did the rundown.
We'll find out.
Dice of Destiny.
Okay, Dice of Destiny is this game we play at the end of every episode. We roll a 6-sided dice to see who will be rolling the Dice of Destiny itself, a 20-sided die with 20 different game genres assigned to it. Then we roll a budget die to see how much money we can spend on the game we rolled, and then we find a game in that genre for that price, and we pick it, we play it, we review it. A couple weeks back, I rolled a fighting game for $50 or less, and I picked a game called Gigabash. Gigabash, Peterson, you're muted, is a kaiju fighter. So you are playing as giant Godzilla-esque Pacific Rim style monsters beating up each other across various landscapes, including cities. There's like Honolulu in Hawaii. It's not called Honolulu, but it's a big metropolis on an island kind of a thing. And there's like Siberia. There's these jungles. It's just every place you'd see a kaiju show up in a kaiju film. And it's a beat 'em up fighting game. And so this, if you do your due diligence and you get your free Epic Game Store game, was a free game on that, but it's otherwise $25 on Steam, and I think it's available in a handful of other places. But I'll give you a rundown of the game. There's a story mode, just like with a lot of fighting games. You go through the story mode, it kind of introduces a lot of the characters, delves into some of their lore. There's a huge variety of these monsters that you can play. I think there's 10 of them, and then there's 2 DLC packs that have 4 each. But the monsters themselves, their fighting style, even their movements are all really varied, which I liked. I mean, one of them is just a building. You play as like a building. It like has a mouth kind of, and it just fights people, which I think is pretty funny, turning on its head kind of a thing. There's a big mech, Pacific Rim style big mech. There's a giant guy, kind of like Ant-Man style, just big guy.
Yeah.
And then there's, you just have there's a snail character that has crazy moves. He throws his shell. They're just all over the board, right? And each one that I played, everyone was fun. I will say that some I definitely preferred over others. There's a big Yeti that's just like this big happy Yeti character. He's by far my favorite. He's so funny. He doesn't understand that he's like a kaiju. He's just out there having
Is
fun.
he the big ball guy?
Yeah, he's like he's kind of like a Yeti. He's so cute. But I went through the story mode. I beat all the story, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty fun. I also, when I first started playing, I was just playing arcade, which is exactly what it sounds like. You go through, you try to beat, I think you have like 3 lives, and you try to beat 9 kaijus in a row, and then the boss. And I did that for a handful of different characters. Really fun. You get to learn all these different characters and all their combos and moves and who they're strong against, who they're not. In terms of their moves, there's a lot of combos that are unique to each character, but they're not like Mortal Kombat where it's like 5 buttons in a row. At most, I think it's 2. Either you like hold the button or you press 2 buttons, one after the other in quick succession. And then you also have ultimate abilities that you save up like a bar for. And then you have S tier. They're called S tier transformations. You just get like 4 times as big, which is so funny when you're like this huge character and the other people, the other kaijus can still interact with you just the same. So if you can grab and hold someone and punch him in the face, all of a sudden you're holding up like a 30-story tall Godzilla, punching him in the head, and he's way bigger than you. You can also interact with items in the map. You can pick up like a radio tower, for example, and throw it like a spear. You throw trucks or cars at people and they honk when they hit them. You can throw people into a gas station. It explodes. You can climb a building and jump off of it onto somebody. Just all the standard fare you'd expect. Kind of think of it like, what was that? Rampage. Kind of that similar feel. There's also multiplayer. I will say I just queued for anything, just the quick match, which puts you into everything. I thought I'd get it. I sat there for like 5-10 minutes, didn't get into a match, ended up with a match, 2-on-2 with me, another real guy, and then 2 computers. And I played a couple of matches with that person, and it was fun. The multiplayer I think could be fun, but I just couldn't. And maybe it's because I was on Epic. Maybe they have different servers if you're on Steam, and Steam has more. I don't know.
It
But
doesn't have a ton of Steam reviews. Like it has 984.
Ooh, yeah. So I didn't really mind that because it kind of felt like it wasn't. It seemed more of a party game. In fact, like when you open it, couch co-op or whatever, play on your couch is like the first option on the menu, and that's what leads you to the story and the arcade mode and everything else. So, all told, I liked this game. I liked it a lot, and I had a lot of fun going through all the story and going through the arcade. I could see myself picking it up and just beating around because I love kaiju shit. And picking up a building and throwing it at another monster, that just does it for me. But then I realized I think I really love this because it was free. And then I thought how disappointed I would be if I'd paid $25 for this game.
Yeah,
and furthermore, the 2 DLCs, one of which includes so there's 4 Godzilla characters, like Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla, Destroya, I think another one. And that's $10. And then there's another pack of like the Ultraman guy. He's like the big like guy, like Ant-Man style. And there's 4 of those, and that's $10. And I'm sure they come with their own stories and stuff. But man, if you're telling me this is worth $45 for all the things, it isn't. It just straight up is not. And that's where I was really disappointed, was the pricing on this. And I can understand maybe they're looking. And it's on sale all the time. Maybe they put it on Steam sale all the time. But apart from that, I was like, I didn't like that. I think it really should have been at $20. I would have been like, all right. $15, I would have said like, hell yeah, I enjoyed it. At 10, everyone would go get it. And they wouldn't have 900 Steam reviews. They'd have 9,000 Steam reviews. But at $25 for a arcadey beat 'em up fighting game. And by the way, at that point, $10 for your Godzilla DLC is a little bit easier of a pill to swallow.
Yeah.
But that was my biggest issue with Gigabash, was not the game, which I thought through and through was well done. But I just think the pricing was just a little off. It looks like it does go down. Well, here I'm looking at it. Originally, when it came out at $35. And then it dropped down on sale down to $28. And that was in 2022. So this game's been around for a minute. And then it looks like starting in August of 2023, they permanently dropped it to $25. And they've been experimenting dropping it down as low as $17. But dude, if I'm being honest, I feel like this is a game that lived and died on a poor pricing model. Honest to Christ. I think they overpriced it
went
from
too
the
hard
jump.
on it.
Because especially on games like you look at Pal World and you look at Helldivers, if you have a good game that's in an affordable and it's priced right, or Valheim's probably another good example, your numbers based on word of mouth can more than make up for it on volume. But if you overprice it because you're like, we're going to make 900,
We got to make some money.
well, yeah, we're not going to sell that many, so we got to sell it at $35. That was pre DLC. So that was just like the standard 10 characters. The story that I beat in a session, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours tops. The arcade things are really fun. But with a thin multiplayer offering where you can't really get into a match, $25 is kind of crazy. $35 is insane. I can't believe they ever had it priced up there.
Yeah,
But
35 is wild.
I can't even say wait for a sale on this because the sales only go to $17 down to $17, and I don't think it's worth $17 on sale. I'm sorry. I this is like if you didn't
If
get
this
it,
game had a huge community of like
Yes.
active people playing it,
different
maybe.
story. If I'd been able to get in a bunch of cool matches on, because there's free for alls with 4 monsters,
Mhm.
all of us fighting in a city, throwing buildings, and there's a lot of like random things you can throw and abilities you can just mess people up with. That would be so funny. The Yeti that I was telling you about, one of his abilities, he turns into a snowball and he rolls people up. Rolling up all 3 people and then smashing all 4 of us into a building. Hysterical. But I can't get into a match.
Mhm.
So I don't fucking know. And I don't want to drop $25 to find out.
Nope.
That's a weird one for me. It's a weird one for me. I love the game. I can't really recommend it at its current price point. If you want to throw it on your wish list, I think there's a demo for it if you want to try the demo and you're like enamored with it. It is, like I said, it's a great
Again,
game.
didn't you say you beat the campaign in one play, like
Yeah.
sit down?
Yeah, and just a
So that
sitting.
is not worth $25.
Yeah, that's where it struggles. And the story's fun, but I mean, I spent more on like a single run of the arcade than I did on half the story.
Yeah.
And the arcade mode was like it brought other things to the table. So I don't know, man. I thought it was just kind of a strange pricing choice for these guys.
Yeah.
And
agreed.
it wasn't worth the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. So it was a kind of a fun game. It would have been the perfect Xbox Game Pass game.
Yeah.
100%. This should have been on Game Pass. Should be on Game Pass permanently. If it isn't, because I think that would be a really good home for it. But right now, I just can't get behind it. So, Gigabash is a don't buy. I mean, put it on your wish list if it drops. If they start pricing it even lower, and you want to play it with your buddies. But I don't know. Bummer. That means we got to re-roll.
Okay.
One fucking
JD
number.
gets. Wait, what number do you want? Pick one.
I will be free of this mortal coil.
Pick what number you want.
I want 5.
Okay, I'm every other number.
If I roll a 5,
Look,
though,
these are called dice of destiny, but sometimes we can alter
we can
destiny a
change
little bit.
our
We can
destiny.
affect it.
We can affect it. Okay, it's a 3. Squeal!
I
I'm
was
so
kind of hoping it would be
happy.
a 5.
All right, now I want a 19.
Yeah, I'm gonna
That's
roll
what
it
I
this time. I'm gonna roll it.
Okay, roll a
I'm gonna
19.
roll the
for
bone
us.
dice. The bone.
Oh, yeah,
D20.
the boner dice. Do it.
All right. 13.
13 is a peaceful, relaxing game.
That's not. Oh
That's
no.
nice.
I am not in the mood for that.
That
This
is
gonna be
just like
fun.
Helldivers, which means peaceful and relaxing is off the board, and fucking
Like-
dating sim is on.
No, it's back.
Dating sim is now our lucky 13.
Oh, no.
Just like that.
Peace.
Man, we haven't had dating sim since I rolled a
Oh.
1. Which gave me a double genre, and I had to do like a dating sim mixed with some other stupid thing.
Okay. Oh yeah, that was true. Okay, here I've got my 6-sided die. I'm gonna roll for price.
Yeah.
Ooh, gosh. It's a 1. So
So
15 max.
no, we're both writing it. That's
Oh
funny.
yeah, that is.
Cool. So that's your game.
That's
It's probably some good shit.
no. This is gonna
Can
be a rough roll.
you
Baby.
count Planet Crafter?
I've already played it. It's gotta be a new one.
It's so good though.
I don't know if
basically
it's
a new game at this
relaxing.
point.
It's not unrelaxing, but at start you're like, I gotta get air. I gotta get oxygen.
Did you see this Steam Dinos versus Robots Fest?
I did, yeah.
Steam is so great, dude. Just all games with dinosaurs or robots.
Mm-hmm.
What a stupid thing. That's so funny. All right. Well, Peterson will have a peaceful, relaxing game for us. A cheapie, too.
Helldivers 2.
Helldivers 3.
Dude, I don't think it's chaotic. I love just going and exploring the world.
It calms me down, dude. These are nice bugs.
I'm also a psychopath, so I don't know.
All right. Well, to play us out, we have the theme from Helldivers 2, which you
Very
guys are
peaceful.
gonna. It's so
Very
relaxing.
relaxing.
Are you feeling relaxed right now? Don't fall asleep if you're driving.
Honestly, I feel like I should be spreading democracy.
Yeah, start spreading some democracy to the people in the cars next to you.
Mm-hmm.
You take that to mean whatever you want. All right. I'm JD logging off.
This is Peterson going AFK. For democracy.